Hello everyone, welcome to today. It has been a beautiful, beautiful spring day, even though I'm wearing a Halloween shirt. I forgot about that, ignore that. But yeah, I thought we'd take you along for a little bit of a day in the life. Nothing crazy, we don't have that many farm chores, but it's such a beautiful day, we worked a little bit out here. Here at the garden, still very bare. Oh, but look at my herbs. Wow. They had a growth spurt. Some cilantro and parsley. And then my oregano. And then spinach over here. I need to weed again. Got some spinach and peas. Oh, and my son's gonna walk right over it. I'm gonna go ahead and plant my cucamelon. I only have one. I'm not very invested in it. I don't really care. So I'm gonna go ahead and plant it and take the chance. Might be kind of hard to tell with the lighting, but I'm gonna get the little tendrils on the trellis. Oh, here's just old stuff I haven't taken off. And there we go. He loves feeding the animals. Oh, that one's a little too little. Throw it to her. Good job. Here, watch this. Here, grab it down here. Watch. Hold it like that. Give it to her. Okay, that works too. Probably safer. The fence is obviously off, by the way. Hi, girls. You like the treats? You're singing Old McDonald? It is now the next day, and I had come out here to plant some green beans and more peas, but I came out and checked on our raised bed, and I think literally in one of the last clips I mentioned how it was too early for asparagus, but look what I found. Do you see it? Do you see it? We've got a big one right there, and then a bunch of really little ones right here. These are probably self-seeded from last year or the year before, and the one over here is from one of my original plants. Look how thick that is. It's like the size of my finger. They start out skinny like those, and then every year they kind of get thicker. They tell you you're only supposed to pick them when they get that big. I will probably leave those because these are, gosh, 4 years old now, 3 years old. And we should have enough thick ones that I won't need to pick any really skinny ones. Man, well, now that I know that those are growing, I really want to change my plans to refill the beds and clean them up a little bit so that they can come up. I mean, it's pretty much weed free, but I need to pull up the old weeds because I don't know, there's a lot of roots around. I don't know. I feel like I have to work on the bed a lot. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do, but you will find out in a moment. Okay, I am going to plant a couple rows of green beans. I didn't mention it, but my toddler is napping right now, so I only have like an hour to do anything. My husband is working this weekend, so it's just me, and it is really hard to get anything done on my own. I'm sure in the last clips you watched me try to do things with my toddler here, and he just not into it yet. Who knew 2-year-olds didn't like to sit down for extended periods? I know I do have a time limit on the beans because I definitely want beans this year. Gonna plant those and then work on the asparagus bed for the rest of the time. I'm hoping this won't take but like 5 minutes, so I should probably get to that now. I like to plant pretty high volume close together. I think I'm only gonna plant these 3 little rows right now because we are still 4 weeks away from last frost. But when I checked the weather for the end of the month, we are well above freezing. And then after that, we'll only have 2 weeks. So I am taking a gamble. We might get a frost, but like I said, it'll only be 2 weeks of uncertainty. So we will see how that goes. They could all fail. That's why I'm not doing too many. But just in case, I would love to have a handful of them. You probably can't tell at all what I've done, but I'm sure I can find another one. We have that grass, what do you call it? Like this kind of grass that grows in really long strands. And so it's like one plant is like all over the bed and it's dead, but I know it's just dormant. So that's what I've been pulling, and that's why it doesn't look like I've done much, but I've done a ton. I'm sure you all have that kind of grass too and can relate like that. Like, it doesn't look like anything, but you can see the green at the bottom, and then when you pull it, it's like 100 miles long. Come on. You know, like that. Okay, I am done with that for right now. My back is killing me. Oh, that was kind of hard. I think I only did it for like 30 minutes, but that's just what it's gonna have to be like. I fed those guys the weeds, so they're all very happy. The newborn, well, not newborn, but the new lambs are trying to eat it too. I guess they're experimenting with eating real food now. So those get into the
actual potato.
Ew.
Do you get a picture?
I'm getting a video.
Oh.
I can get a picture too.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe somebody has had those little orange worms.
Yeah.
They don't get, it's not too bad. They don't ruin the whole potato, but when you see those little holes in the potato when you harvest them,
it's from them.
It's from these guys. Then we also have these weird bugs that kind of look like, I don't know, what kind of, those weird flying bugs with the stripes.
Oh yeah.
Like lightning bugs.
They do look like lightning bugs.
They get all over the potatoes too. And this here we're gonna find, look at that big worm right there.
You're okay, buddy.
What kind of worm is this? Big old grub.
Ew, yeah, I think it's just a grubby. Do they? Probably. I think they turn into something too.
We have a helper in the garden today.
So when are you gonna plant the potatoes?
I'm gonna, and we can show everybody later. I'm gonna plant the sweet potatoes this week, and our purple potatoes will go in this week. I'd really like to do them all this week, but we're still waiting for our Yukon Golds to ship.
Oh yeah, have they not shipped yet?
No, they won't ship until the end of the month.
Okay.
They won't ship till the end of the month, so the potatoes will get staggered just a little bit.
Which will be fine anyway.
We can show everybody what kind of potatoes and corn we're doing this year.
Have you gotten the corn yet? I can't remember.
No, we have leftover from last year, but that doesn't go in for a while.
Yeah.
That's a soil temperature.
Clearly, our day in the life has not been affected by the coronavirus. And I didn't even want to do a video mentioning it because we have just been so saturated with news and articles and just everything about the coronavirus lately. I just didn't even want to mention it. But I do feel like I kind of have to, partly because it is what's going on in our life right now, and part of this is just documenting our life and what we're going through. Um, but it is really kind of cool and unique, and I say that, and don't get me wrong, I understand the severity of the situation, and I actually think that a lot of the precautions that people are taking are totally valid. But just looking only at myself and my family, like not thinking about all the people who are at higher risk, this has been kind of a cool time because it feels like all of our hard work has paid off. All of our hard work, sorry, that my voice did a weird thing. But, you know, kind of, I wouldn't say we're preppers. We're not prepping for the end of the world. We're not preppers. But by nature of what we're doing and just having a homestead and growing our own food and learning to do things on our own without the commercialized food industry and all of that kind of thing, just by nature of that, we are prepared. Like, even if, you know, a lot of things have shut down. They've shut down the schools here in North Carolina and Virginia, which we're really close to. A lot of the grocery stores are sold out of things. Not like in the big cities, but still don't have toilet paper here either. But we are completely unfazed. Like, we have literally probably a year's worth of meat here. Like, I am going hungry is just not even a thought in our mind. And again, I know not everyone is that lucky. But it's just really cool to be in a situation in real life that our 5 years of hunting and gardening and learning all this stuff is really paying off and has put us in like the prime position. And it's, yeah, just really, really cool. We talk about it all the time about, like, you know, if the apocalypse came, we would be totally fine. And even though it's not the apocalypse, and I'm sure everything will be fine in a month from now, but it's cool. It just is. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. And even like geographically, we are in the middle of nowhere, which usually I hate, but now is paying off. You know, I hear on the news of like, stay away from anywhere that you could run into more than 20 people at a time and whatever. I can guarantee you there's like nowhere here in our county that you would run into 20 people at a time. I mean, you can go to Family Foods and maybe run into 5 people, but I mean, and even our local, well, not local, but our area health department has announced that, you know, as of right now, there have been no confirmed cases in the county and the 7 surrounding counties. So I'm just really thankful for where we live and how we're living. And usually I am an extremely anxious, worried person, and usually I freak out about everything. So for me to totally not be worried about anything is like refreshing and feels really nice. So that's kind of all I have to say about that. Again, I know it is not like that for everyone, and there are a lot of people who it really, really is affecting, but if you're worried about us, don't be worried about us. We are totally fine for right now. And I know in one of my clips, the camera shut off while my husband was talking, and we're not happy about that. But we will hopefully have a video more about his garden and what he's doing, because that is kind of next up on the gardening, if that makes sense. With my garden, we're waiting for the last frost, of course, and I have, you know, hardening off and all that kind of stuff. But with the potatoes, even though they're not frost hardy, you can plant them early because they're underground and all that. So hopefully in a video coming up, we will talk with my husband about all of his potatoes and what he will be growing and how he is prepping his garden. So I hope you all are safe from the coronavirus and have a good day, and I hope you're not worried about anything. Bye.